Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Security Guide TV. My next guest, Mr. Todd Williams. He's the account executive for Orsi, Orsi.com. Mr. Todd, welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, Chuck. Thanks for having me.
I'm really excited to talk to you guys. I love what you guys do. Today's topic is DevSecOps innovation. And boy, anybody that says the word innovation in this space really must know what they're talking about. For some people that might not know what Orsi does and your street creds, give me a brief overview.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, thanks for having me on. We're excited to have this opportunity to talk with you. So Orsi, we are a DevSecOps consulting and technology organization. So we help customers that are looking to deliver transformative applications do so in a concise, repeatable, consistent manner through automation of all the way from the development process through to operations and ongoing support of the application. And then also making sure that we're helping our customers weave security into the process from the very beginning, starting with a development focus and weaving security in throughout that entire process. So everything that Orsi does is focused around that DevSecOps initiative. So I've been with Orsi for a couple of years now, and my role specifically focuses on the application performance monitoring piece, what many are starting to refer to as the observability piece of DevSecOps. And it's been really exciting over the past couple of years as we've continued to help customers on their DevSecOps journey and seeing how tools in the space that were initially point solutions for like monitoring, let's say, have really added in functionality and use cases that really key in on being able to provide value and be leveraged across the entire DevSecOps process. So not only it's cool to see, at Orsi, we've been doing DevSecOps for a while and seeing some of the technology players in the market coming around and being more comprehensive has been interesting to see as a validation of some of the things that we've been working with our customers on all along.
Todd, why has the term DevSecOps become more prevalent, and what does it really mean? It's a great sounding group of words there, but let's spell it out for everybody. It's super important for people to get this concept.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. And, DevOps is a term that's been around for a number of years now. And it really focused, when you break it down, it is what it sounds like. It's the marrying of dev and ops, and ultimately looking to help organizations build software better and faster. And so releasing more and more features and functionalities and capabilities of their digital applications that will help differentiate them in the marketplace. And for so long, it was really focused around the marrying of DevOps, and security had been on the periphery and kind of more of an afterthought, quite frankly, and been bolted on after the fact. Meanwhile, what the DevSecOps approach looks to do is make sure that security is a focus from the jump. So how do we get security in? Our developers focus on security from the beginning, and then how are we making sure that we're weaving security into every area of our DevOps process and making it a core tenet of everything that we're doing.
So why is application testing and performance monitoring critical parts of a DevSecOps infrastructure?
Yeah, I mean, it ultimately comes down to, you always want to make sure that your applications are meeting the requirements and the needs that you built them for. And so as you're building software and pushing it further towards production, obviously you want to make sure that you're testing it so that you understand the performance, and as we push it live, is it going to meet the business objectives that we're hoping to meet, and will it create a good customer experience? So it's making sure that your application is ready to go. And so testing is a key part of that, so that you're reducing the amount of potential bugs that ultimately make it to production. And then if you look at monitoring in its traditional and kind of antiquated, I would say at this point, form and function, it was all about looking at how do we make sure that applications, once they're in production, if something goes wrong, how are we, one, alerted to it, and two, figure out what the problem is so that we can address it. So, testing and monitoring are two key pieces in their own rights, but what we're seeing in the market is that it's increasingly important to have them integrated into a DevOps process. So, like for example, in integrating your testing into a monitoring solution and having that visibility, you're able to drill down into root causes of performance issues during the QA process and address them earlier on. So that's one of many benefits of integrating the two processes. But ultimately, it's looking at how can you become more efficient and repeatable in your software delivery.
Todd, let's talk about application performance monitoring. How does it fit into the overall arcing DevSecOps landscape?
Yeah, absolutely. So for application performance monitoring, I mean, at its core, it's just looking at how are we making sure that our applications are delivering a high quality use experience to our end users. And so looking at monitoring at its core, again, it's really looking at giving organizations the ability to have a full understanding of their entire application architecture, and what's talking to what, where, when, how often, what are those expected timings and metrics that we're looking at to make sure that we're performing at our peak levels. And so it's all about, one, being able to monitor and ensure that things are going well, but then two, what happens if something does go wrong. And so that's where monitoring comes in, and some of the what we're seeing from our customers is the need to have a tool that will pinpoint down to the root cause at the code level what the issue is that's ultimately causing a performance error. And so I think that right there solves the problem for a lot of organizations. We just we'll hear customers say, we just need a better way to be more proactive in identifying issues. And so that's certainly a core function of monitoring. But then when you look at it from a DevOps perspective, it's talking about how do we shift it left into the earlier process of our dev process. And so monitoring can also be used in the testing space. So organizations that are running a performance test and funneling that traffic through a monitoring tool are able to see a couple different benefits. I mean, one, it increases it decreases the amount of bugs that you're actually allowing to make through to production, because you're getting full visibility as that traffic in your performance test is hitting the application. And if something breaks, rather than just kicking it back to dev and saying, hey, it broke when it hit 1 million users or whatever the criteria might be, you're able to not only say, hey, the application isn't performing like it's intended to, but you're also able to provide those developers the root cause of what that issue is. So it quickens the time that they're able to actually address issues. So it makes you more efficient in your DevOps process as well.
Todd, how has Orsi improved software outcomes for a customer with application performance testing and monitoring? This is the secret sauce. It's all about time management. It's about time to market. Tell us how this really works.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a specific scenario that comes to mind, is a Fortune 500 telecom company that we were helping through some of their digital transformations and wanting to redo a lot of their digital properties and doing so in a DevOps manner, which was something that they had not taken on before. So, a key piece was helping with the people and processes side of things and helping make sure that they were organizationally ready to adopt a DevSecOps process. And then part two was actually executing across with the technology pieces as well. So we were able to help them by integrating their monitoring solution into their testing solution, so that they're able to prevent issues from making it to production, and use it during performance test execution to isolate root causes of their performance issues. And then also from a production standpoint, when an issue does appear in production, we're able to more easily, with the data that we're getting from a monitoring tool, reproduce the issue in a QA environment, and then be able to isolate the root cause of that incident. So it provides the ability to remediate problems in production in an accelerated fashion as well. So kind of 2 points. We're helping customers not only before there's the opportunity in performance testing and streamlining those processes, but it's also how, once an application is running in production, how do we use monitoring and then circling it back into QA to ultimately help remediate problems faster.
Todd, what are the top challenges companies face when moving to cloud native environments? It seemed like the cloud was going to be easy. We're just going to go to our directory, transfer everything up there. And it's been more of a challenge for a lot of people. I think people weren't expecting maybe to move there so quickly.
Yeah, I don't think that they were, and we're certainly seeing and hearing a lot of stories about customers that are going down the path and running into some challenges. So, and I think kind of the top challenge. It speaks to what you kind of hit on at the end of the question there. It's so many folks across organizations don't really understand the work that's involved in making a move to DevSecOps and going cloud native and using some of these more advanced strategies. So I would say that one of the challenges that we hear about most of the time is just getting organizational alignment and buy-in on the move to DevSecOps. And so I would say that that's certainly a top challenge because it takes time, it's complex, and it's critical that you have buy-in across the entire business, not just IT. In terms of why you're doing this, how you're going to do it, and the role that everybody will play, because it is certainly a complete change in mindset. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's the organizational piece is certainly a top challenge that we see across the board.
So when you're addressing multiple organizations within your own organization, who's going to own this? It sounds like IT would be the natural person to own the move, but they have to get the buy-in from the board, the C-suite, who may not have the same technical background and understanding of this. How do you bridge this gap between the inter-organizations?
Yeah, I think it's kind of leveraging some of the experiences that we've had with other organizations, and this is something that Orsi does day in and day out, and helping every engagement that we kind of start with from our perspective, it's we're making sure that our customers have the executive alignment. So it's sometimes it's having multiple sessions around the benefits of DevSecOps, really distilling it down and making sure that everybody across different business units has a full understanding of exactly what DevSecOps means, because you can go out and read a million different articles and learn a million different things. But ultimately, how do we break down the fundamentals and help these organizations understand them? And then also aligning a strategy to their customer, to our customers' needs. That kind of, once we get them bought in and understanding of what the process is, how do you help them get to where they want to be and create a roadmap for success?
Todd, what advice would you give your DevOps team to address these challenges? Your elevator pitch, but really also speak to perhaps that purchasing person who's going to write the check. They're part of the decision, and if they don't get this stuff, they're going to be hesitant because they don't want their name on something that they don't understand. And they don't want their name on something that might not work.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would say that it's important that a DevOps team get that organizational buy-in before ultimately something lands on the desk of purchasing, and making sure that you have the resources on your teams that can not only deliver on a DevOps strategy, but can also communicate a DevOps strategy to the greater business. I certainly with procurement, I'm sure that they've seen, if you talk to procurement people, there's been a large price tag associated with some of the technologies and resources that are associated with adopting a DevOps or a cloud DevSecOps or a cloud native strategy. It takes quite an investment from a financial perspective and a dollars from a procurement perspective. So it's ultimately being able to allow the procurement team to understand and everybody understand that while there's more of an outlay out front, it will certainly drive results on the back end through increases in efficiency of your teams and being able to deliver, just like everybody says, better software faster. And ultimately, how does that impact the business? Is it less time of folks addressing issues with production or software related issues? And allowing them to spend more time on driving innovation within their applications. So a lot of those things that are things that we talk about on a day-to-day basis of how when we talk to our customers of how do we make our teams more efficient. But I think it's critical that businesses have an understanding of what that means to the bottom line and how adopting a DevSecOps approach will ultimately impact their ability to better compete in the market. That's a huge piece.
Mr. Todd, 10 years ago when I started doing this and asking questions, if we had the word security in DevOps, people would go, blink, blink. What are you talking about? We bring that guy in last. We don't talk to him right now. Tell me how much closer we are now. Obviously, we're talking DevSecOps, so obviously we're getting there. Are people really catching on to this shift left concept? Are we really integrating all these processes to make it a better process for everybody?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think people are certainly catching on. A lot of what we're seeing in the marketplace is that customers are asking, how do we make our applications more secure, and how do we get our developers to start thinking about security from day one? So it's a topic that's coming up more and more often as we are out in the market. And then I think just looking at some of the tools in the space as well. Dynatrace is one of our key partners, and looking at how they have historically been a monitoring tool, and then they've continued to evolve their platform, and now it's got a full security module added into it as well. So, one, we're hearing it from our customers, and then two, you're seeing it by the technology companies that are looking to capitalize on the move towards DevSecOps by including security modules into their already proven and successful technologies across the board. So it's cool to see.
I've been speaking with Todd Williams. He's the account executive for Oracy, Oracy.com, talking about DevSecOps innovation, and certainly Oracy is right up there with innovation. I'm really pleased to hear what you guys had to say, and I think it's going to be a game changer. You just keep doing what you're doing, and we're going to all be a lot safer in the industry. Mr. Todd, thanks for coming on Security Guy TV, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Chuck, and hope to chat with you soon.